First off, let me apologize. I am kind of sick, so that's why I sound messed up. I just started a page on Facebook um, called the Second Amendment Discussion. I just started like an hour ago, so there ain't like nobody there but me. But anyway, I just started to have a site where people can go and talk about different aspects of the Second Amendment. Um, Other than the little rule thing, which let me bring that up real quick. Um, Rules are no threatening no threatening other people, no posting of private information, phone numbers, blah blah blah, and trying to be respectful of each other. So my first post is: here are some steps I feel we should take in reducing crimes committed with firearms, enforcing current laws and prosecuting offenders in federal court when possible. Um, the reason I think that will help is because I've personally seen this myself, where a felon is caught with a firearm in violation of federal law, and they're not prosecuted in the federal system. I'll get to that in a minute. And they generally get extremely reduced sentence. So maybe I should also add in there maybe mandatory sentencing. The reason in federal court is because in federal prison there's no good behavior, there's no good time, there's no early release, none of that. You know, so I think that might help. I mean, a lot of states, for every day you serve, you get one taken off your sentence. So if you're sentenced to 100 days, you will only serve 50 days, no matter what you do. So your sentence is pretty much cut in half the moment you're sentenced. So it's for overcrowding and stuff. Make it easier for people to get mental health care, like free clinics. Now I'm not going to say I do know this, it might be out there, but I've never seen a free clinic for mental health. I've read a few reports where people have felt that they're going to do something and have tried to get help, but because they haven't done anything yet, no one's willing to help them. Another one is help teachers, parents, and other personnel identify the signs of homicidal, suicidal tendencies. I can tell you from personal experience, when I went through high school, pretty much none of the teachers, well, not none, but the few teachers, cared about you as an individual, not just a student. You weren't just somebody that they were supposed to teach, or somebody that actually gave a crap about. So I think that might help. Stop treating mass killers as celebrities. Why is it when some horrible event happens, this scumbag's face is on the news? Why? Don't put his picture up there, or her picture. Now, I will make an exception to this, like active manhunts. Yeah, get the pictures out there, get people knowing to look, hunt this individual down. But, let's say they kill themselves. Uh, why do I need to see their face? Why? All that's doing is making the next one think, ooh, look what I can do, become famous. And there has been reports that other mass killers have said they wanted to beat somebody else's score. I mean, how would they know do that if you didn't tell them? Also, stop being concerned with what they used and more on why they did it. Why does it matter whether this person used a bomb or a gun or a knife or a rope or whatever to do this horrible event? We should be more focused on why they did it. And also understand that violence is a part of humanity and we should allow for safe, controlled expression of it. Every single person has violence in them. It's a degree of how much you control that violence. An interesting study I kind of read was what's the difference between military personnel who have killed and murderers who have killed. And they went through the psychological profiles of individuals and found a lot of them are identical. They're very close. And they try to figure out what makes this one person be able to kill in an act of war and then restrain themselves for the rest of their lives. Well, these other people don't. And I don't believe it could ever be measured because it's something that just is in you. So moral standing, or whatever you want to call it. It also, I find it interesting that you take other people, like myself, for example. I consider myself a violent individual. I like to watch MMA fights. I haven't seen one in person, but I've seen kickboxing in person and stuff. Um, I was one of those kids that fight around with their friends. I fought around with people while I was in the military for fun. We're both agreeing we're gonna hurt each other. We're not gonna feel bad about it. To me, that is perfectly fine. And I do believe a part of the problem is that, oh, you can't do that. You can't, you can't even play football without, oh, that's just, oh, that's too violent. And then these people get these pent up violent urges in their bodies, and they have no other way to do with it. Combine that with a bunch of other emotions and stuff, and they explode. So, I'll put a link to it down there in the description area thing. Feel free to come on over, talk about what you want to talk about.